Hello, it says we're live on YouTube, so I think we should trust that one. Hi, it's Wednesday evening. Hope you guys doing well. I think I finally managed to get enough sleep. It did take a long nap, but I don't feel quite as tired as I usually do. So I hope your Wednesdays are going good as well. I've been very excited for this. I didn't actually write anything on the story yesterday when I was off stream because we only have like half a page left, and then we're done with the third notebook. That is wild. Honestly, sitting here just reminiscing about it. I can't believe I started out with 2. Like, I was sure that when I bought the first 2 that I would never ever get to fill those out. And here we are, almost 300 pages in. And we're half a page away from beginning the 4th one. Of course, that one, the 4th one, it's definitely not going to going to be filled out, but I have some ideas of what I want to use the rest of the book for, which I think is kind of cool and cute, but that is for the future. So, like I just mentioned, I haven't actually written anything on the in the chapter yesterday, so we're exactly at where we left off Monday. But where are we in this main plot cell here? Well, we've actually only managed to do the first two lines. So we'll see where we go, where we come, how long we go today. Okay, apparently my voice, my brain is still not working, so that's nice. That's good to know. But yeah, Vespa is wielding the warhammer, the war mallet, the war maul, the war sledgehammer, whatever we want to call it. And she has emerged from the graveyard, well, from the vent, which turns out to be in the graveyard. And here she met with Otho and Shad and Otho, who she took care of with the hammer, with the power, the might of the hammer. Yeah, she incapacitates both of them. And then last time we had this great big ordeal, I guess you could say. Not really an ordeal, but like Vespa had this moment of did she actually kill someone? You know? Is that who she is? And then there was a bit of discussion with Rhenàidd, and we had a sad attempt at doing an epic monologue, great monologue. Yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. Is that, well, I guess we'll get to it in a minute, but they went for the temple doors, and Vespa was just about to go in. And then Rhenàidd stopped her. So, why don't we move this to here, where we are, and then let's just start here. I can see we have mistake right from the get-go. All right. But this one, Rhenàidd continued. He isn't dead yet. He isn't dead. And neither is the other one that you fought. That you fought. Blinking multiple times as a means to realize what the spirit was saying. I don't know, that sounds weird. Blinking multiple times. That is weird phrasing. Vespa spent a few counts going through every emotion she knew. Finally, she settled on confused. Otho isn't a shat? No, the spirit claimed. I can feel the presence still. But why did you make me think? I guess it should be us, actually. Why did you make us think? Lemon's choice tweets were not as incoherent, nor were they kind as Vespa's. Were they as kind? Wow. No, nor were they kind as Vespa's. Because it is only good that you will never forget that feeling, Rhenàidd argued. The time will come, perhaps much sooner than anyone would want, for you to send someone's spirit away forever. And if you ever should stop caring, then I believe that you would also have lost yourself. You must never take the power that this warhammer provides lightly. I hope that you both understand that. Confused as he was over everything, and all of the emotions she had gone through in a very short amount of time, Vespa still did not find the right words in response when the warhammer stopped humming. And before she could, Otho groaned and moved his head slightly without opening his eyes. This sent Vespa's confusion away at once, the urgency of the situation crashing down on her. Vespa felt embarrassed once more, forgetting what they needed to do and why she, Lemon, and Rhenàidd had escaped the catacombs in the first place. Oh my god, we are very soon, I don't know if you can see, we're very soon in need of a new ink cartridge as well. Ronin, Vespa whispered, mostly as a reminder to herself. Lemon chimed in with a couple of loud chirps and wings up high, but the encouragement wasn't needed. Vespa was already running towards the grand temple doors. I think I called them great, but whatever. I have a comment that says, check to see what we called them. Wait, Vespa. Rhenàidd urged Vespa to hold just as she was about to open the grand doors. I'm not going to wait any longer, Vespa argued. We've already spent too long doing anything else but help. They're going to kill everyone with their poison. I know, and I assure you that we will. The spirit contended in an effort to calm what he could. Calm what he could sense was a little girl on edge. But let me ask you this. Who else are with Squire Ronin and his terrible plan? Besides those Shad and Otho. Vespa's heart sank. Vespa's. The spirit was right. She only knew of those three. And of course the shadowy figure from the deep dungeons, what seemed like so long ago. If their plan is to kill all of the residents of what I can understand to be a holy knightly order, then I would guess the numbers of this temple of the drowned to be quite significant, Spirit went on. So what are you saying? That we can't help them? We might as well have been stuck in the catacombs still then. Vespa held onto the handle of one of the great wooden doors, but she didn't open it. No, that is not what I'm saying at all. Rhenàidd's words were confusing, but Vespa could feel hope. She could feel hope. Could feel hope, and we're off. Even if it was wow, that was fast. That was fast that we stopped. That we got blocked mentally. Even if it was. Even if it was buried deep? No, that doesn't make much sense. Even if it was... I want to say, like, even if it was only slightly hope, but that doesn't make any sense. Even if it was only a little. Let's go with even if it was only a glimmer. No. Damn it. I tried to fix it, but it looked terrible. Even if it was only a glimmer, finding its way to her heart. No, it's a bit too much. Oh my god. What is this strange sentence that I'm making? So she decided to let go of the temple door's handle. I don't know. That's bad. That's terrible. That's super bad. Terrible. Let's fully go the door handle. I mean, we have hammer handle and door handle here, and this one up here. So, what do you... So what do you suggest? She tried not to sound as eager to finally do something. Has she felt what is this? This is so bad. Oh my god, this is terrible. Okay. Try not to sound too eager. Okay, that was actually the last. See, this usually works a little bit. No. All right. That was the last of that ink cartridge. All right. It does look like there is a little bit more. Yeah. A tiny bit more. No, okay. Who am I kidding? We place it in with all the others. Wait. It's just a bubble. And then there's a new one somewhere. I had it right here. I did, of course, recently buy like a converter, it's called. I think I showed it a couple of times ago. But it's much easier to keep track on how much ink you've used when you have these cartridges, and I have a billion of them still. So that converter thingy was for way into the future. Okay. Too eager now that she felt like she could actually do something warhammer in hand. But of course Rhenàidd saw right through her. Did he see? Did he? I mean, he can't see. That's the whole point. No, not the whole point, but it's what we keep making fun of, that he can't see. So right through her. Hold your horses, woman. Hey, Miss Blogger, you made it to the stream now in the first part of the stream. Welcome. I hope your contemporary paranormal romance is going well. As always. I hope your Wednesday is going well as well. Well. So many wills. Slow down. He chuckled within Vespa's mind. Or, you know, we could have said from everywhere, nowhere at once. Not all battles are won on the battlefield. Information is our best friend. Are you saying? Are you saying? What are you saying? That you can win a battle without ever fighting. The confusion in Vespa's voice had not gone down. That's not a word. That's not a phrase. Gone down. Disappeared. Dropped. Lessened. Let's go with lessened. That's a good word. Had not lessened. In fact, it seemed to only increase as the spirit spoke. How could he say that you don't win? on the battlefield. If Vespa knew anything. Vespa knew anything from the history lessons. And her reading of epic wars. It was that the good and just always defeated the losers. Always defeated the enemy. In battle. Sometimes yes. Rhenàidd's sense making did not seem to go over well. Sometimes, yes. Oops. But that is not what I am referring. Rhenàidd surprisingly answered. Surprisingly answered. Though Vespa had no idea. Vespa had no idea what he meant by that. No. I'm referring to, I'm talking about. The need for a plan. And tell me did we have one? Did we have one other than barging? Head and hammer. And hammer first. Into this temple. Hey, Triceratops Rider! Good to have you on stream and in the chat. Says I'm writing a book about a kid who moved to Scotland to escape the American Civil War and tries to capture a magical creature with an unusual old man with a strange mission. Oh, that sounds cool. So is it like a folklore-ish fantasy? An urban fantasy? Well, not urban since it's American Civil War. It sounds cool. Into the temple. A reddish hue once again rushed to reddish. I think that's with 2 D's, isn't it? Just gonna say word. To be completely honest, she never really thought of anything, any plan. Thought any plan. She never really thought of any plan. But if there had been one, it would probably have been as simple as Rhenàidd described. Simple as Rhenàidd described. So she didn't say anything, but instead waited for him to continue. And so he did. That's a lot of so's. We don't like that. Too many so and so. That's supposed to be an M. Just ends. And the spirit did without stepping further in it. Without reprimanding. No, that's not the word. Without what is the word? Without rubbing it in. Rubbing it in. Gloating. Swagger. Simping. Not quite the word I was looking for. Gloating. Gloat. Yeah, maybe gloating without gloating. much 2 Vespas appreciation. And appreciation turned out to be the very last word of this here notebook. So, we have the next one ready. Ruled A4 from Paper Style. Same book, of course, same notebook as the other ones. New notebook hype. Whoop whoop. Let's go. Notebook number 4. Look at it. It is so pretty, so beautiful. And of course, we will... Oh, I need this to make sure that it doesn't bleed through. The first page is always so awkward. 289. New page hype. Whoop whoop. New book hype. Whoop whoop. Let's go. That was probably the most secure I have ever been in the fact that I would reach what my title says. The title of the live stream says. Well, you know, given how I need a comment there. We only had half a page until the new notebook was to be used. Yay, Triceratops Rider, let's go! Party emojis. Celebrate. Instead, it's so awkward because the first page is glued up here. You can't really see it. But oh well. Instead, continuing. Continuing. Wow. Yes. Way to go. The second word of the first note of the 4th notebook is misspelled. Let's go. Continuing. I swear this is an N and this is a U. Okay. What a start. What a start. Continuing. From where he paused. That was around 50. New notebook. Hype. We paused. Oh man. I just tried to go back and see where I left off, but of course that's in a different notebook now. I would suggest that we take a little bit of time little bit of time to properly scout, probably scout reconnaissance songs, scout as in searching ahead, to observe, detect, discover, watch over, abide, respect, remark, notice, keep, follow, blah blah blah. Survey the land. Study. Triceratops writer says, "What is your favorite film franchise?" Ooh, that's a big question. I don't know if I have like a favorite film franchise. I mean, if I had to pick a franchise, but that's not like, it's only one movie, but lots of games, and it's the Warcraft universe. That is my, like, I played World of Warcraft as the only game that I played from 2005 to 2011 or 12, and I've played it a little bit from here and there since. So that's very close to my heart. Movie franchise is probably Star Wars. Even though I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, Star Wars has always been very dear to me as well. It's not they're not my favorite movies though, but as a franchise, it's probably my favorite movie franchise. My favorite movies of all time are Up, Gladiator, and Pirates of the Caribbean. I love Game of Thrones TV show, the first 4 seasons. I despise season 5, 6, 7, and 8. But yeah. What about you? What's your favorite film franchise? Probably, let's go with study. The situation. Do you know of any other way into the temple? Okay, also Star Wars, nice. I will admit though, I have not seen I've not seen episode 9, so the newest one, the latest of the third of the sequel trilogy, because the second one was so terrible that I don't want to waste my time watching that. Because originally I thought, okay, I can watch it when it goes on streaming, because, you know, it's Star Wars, I sort of had to watch it, I felt like. And then when it did, I mean, everyone was saying so much bad stuff about it that I was just like, I don't want to waste my time. I simply don't want to waste my time. So yeah, I watched most of them. That makes sense. I feel like 9 is worse than 8. I mean, that's the sentiment. I feel like 8 could have been good if it was in like a season of a TV show. Because there's so much going on that they just never, you know, they never dove deep enough into the different things. And I feel like they could have justified some of the things if they had more time, like 10 hours. Of course, they made terrible decisions in 8 still, but, you know, some of the terrible decisions could have been justified, I feel like. And yeah, then 9 happened, everyone said it was ass. I was just like, yeah, whatever. What about book franchise? Or just books in general? What are your top 3 books you've ever... franchise or single books? Triceratops Rider. Top 3 books: The Hobbit, Navigating Early, and The Little Prince. I've never heard of Navigating Early or The Little Prince, but I read The Hobbit and that was good. Like, I think, and I feel like this is a hot take, but I think The Hobbit was a better book than Lord of the Rings. The first one. I've only read the first Lord of the Rings. The others are on the agenda, definitely. But yeah, The Hobbit is a much more coherent book than the Lord of the Rings is. And honestly, I've heard people say, like, if the Lord of the Rings was published today, it probably wouldn't, like, in the same style that it is published, if, you know, without it making any changes, it probably wouldn't have been popular at all. But, you know, different times, different there. I haven't read The Lord of the Rings yet. I've only seen the movies. Well, the movies are great. I guess that could also, I don't know how I forgot about it, but that could also be my favorite movie franchise. Though I didn't really care for the Hobbit movies that much. There were at least one movie too much But yeah. I mean, half of the Lord of the Rings is good. The book. It's just the stuff with Tom Bombadil that makes no sense. And they spent 300 pages just, you know, coming to Rivendell. Basically. Yeah, I think it's about it's like 100 pages that's just about Tom Bombadil and his little corner of the world. That serves absolutely no purpose for the rest of the story. It's just world building for the sake of world building, you would say. But yeah. Vespa had to take a moment or two trying to get her beating fast beating. I don't think that's the phrase. It's a weird phrase. My top 3 books I should probably have said that. I think A Storm of Swords, in no particular order. A Game of Thrones, so that's like my big book franchise that I really love. A Storm of Swords was really good, the third one. That's where a particular wedding happened. I absolutely adore his Dunk and Egg series, so A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms series, like the first book, just like, you know, it's a 3 novellas. The Hedge Knight. Those are amazing. I love those. But you know, that's 3 novellas instead of like a coherent book. I really liked Mistborn as well. I loved it. I liked it way more than I thought I would. So I can't wait to read the second one. That might actually be my top 3. You know, Harry Potter as well. Those are like my comfort books. But I don't necessarily feel great at reading them now because of J.K. Rowling and everything that she stands for now, which is just like weird. But yeah. Yeah, let's go with The Storm of Swords, The Hedge Knight, and Mistborn in no particular order. Yeah. Beating hard under control. Now that she suddenly had to think. And she was just about to tell Spirit no. When I don't know if that's a weird use of the hyphen. The windows. The revelation. Came out a bit louder and more excited. Excited, then she had intended. Rule number. That's wrong. Number 1. When making plans. Rhenàidd joked. With a hint of seriousness. Seriousness still. After they silently awaited anyone who might have heard the outburst. Might have heard the outburst. Luckily, no one out the temple doors. The number one, that's an O. The number one rule is to make sure your plans stay hidden. Just to make sure. Well, your plans remain hidden for as long as possible. Why do my O's look like A's suddenly? Simple. That means no shouting. No shouting. Them out loud. Am I clear? No, that's a bit too harsh. Wouldn't you say that makes sense? Yeah, let's go with that. Wouldn't you agree that it makes sense? I think we could lampshade a little bit here, like the fact that she's gotten so embarrassed so many times. We could say like sorry. We could say like Vespa couldn't remember the last time she had been embarrassed this many times in one day. She had been so embarrassed this many times in one day. I'm sorry. Vespa's face was red again. She couldn't remember. The last time that she had had felt this embarrassed. Felt this embarrassed. This many times. On the same day, the same day. Lemon made an apologetic tweet as well. Made an apologetic. Oh, I can't remember. Apologetic. Apology. Okay, so that is correct. Apologetic. Yes. It was also embarrassed that I'm a little bit skeptical. That is with 2 R's and 2 S's every single time. We can fix it. There we go. Embarrassed. Yes. I lost my train of thought. Apologetic tweet. It's not difficult. Apologetic. Oh, that was a bit too low. Why did I decide to mess with the height of my table suddenly? As well. Feeling like it was aimed at her as well. Do not worry. Do not worry. The warhammer hummed. We seem to be in the clear. At least for now. Wow. But we do not know. For how long? That will last. So we better hurry up for these. Whoops. For these windows. You are sure that no one that we can get in? We can get into the temple through these. Whoops. Can you open them? Open them. Without anyone noticing. So we use this as a little bit of a, you know, not lampshading, but a little bit of a recap, a little bit of, hey, remember these windows that we... I guess a little bit of exposition would be the word for it. We don't have to. Vespa had not suddenly, Vespa had lowered her voice. And lifted the warhammer. Handle closer to her face. As she spoke. The windows of the eastern side of the temple, and of course I don't know that yet. Find out if that's true. Find out if that's true. And we will do that with, you know, maps. At one point I will make maps. Hey, Easy Lauren! Welcome to the stream, dude. Forgot it was Wednesday. Yeah, no problem. Just happy to have you here. Now that you've remembered. You know, it's good. It's good being in vacation mode like that. Just completely forgetting the days. Just relaxing, making sure you have a good time. I applaud you for that. Are still missing. Apparently, I want to give a reason here why they never came. Apparently, they got lost. Yeah, let's go with that. Apparently. They never made it. Apparently, they never made it. Down the river from Havenbring. So the builders are unable to finish their work. So this is a reason that needs to be mentioned earlier. And this is just going to be like a little bit of an exposition, right? Yeah. But we can sneak in through them. I've done it. Me and Lemon have done it. Lemon and I. Lemon and I have done it many times. And we've never been. We've never been caught. In reality, the pair had maybe only snuck through the windows a couple of times. Where it was needed. But Vespa was so eager, to finally be useful. That a little embellishment wouldn't hurt. Maybe it's just the new notebook, and because the first page is, like I mentioned, it's glued to this this much thicker cardboard-like page. But this might be some of the worst handwriting I've ever done. Oh my goodness. Just look at this finally. Those are L's. I know, massive L's. This S, that's an S, I think. Embellishment. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Embellish. Yeah. It was exactly what I thought it meant. That's good. That a little embellishment wouldn't hurt. Then to the windows we go. Then to the windows we must go. And fast. Rhenàidd declared. What the hell? Even though speed never have been a strong suit. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but of us, damn it, of us Fey folk. There was a feeling, a nice feeling to the spirits. Encouragement. Encouragement. That was page 289, the very first page of notebook number 4. That means we move on to page 290. Oh my god. Can you guys believe it? We're getting so close to page 300. Yo! The number fact was ready, locked and loaded. Is Lauren number fact 290 is a sphenic number, i.e. it is a product of 3 distinct prime numbers. 2 times 5 times 29. It is also the sum of 4 consecutive primes. 67 plus 71 plus 73 plus 79. End of number fact. Awesome. Thank you for that number fact, Easy Lauren. Good to have you here. Weird how there's 3 prime numbers in the 70s. Isn't it? Or is it just me who thinks that's a bit weird? Spirits. It was almost as if he winked as he spoke the words. Vespa was still a little unsure about the whole Fey folk thing. And yet she couldn't oh my god. It's so because like it's so up high, it's very difficult to write on the very edge. And yet she couldn't deny the warm feeling of belonging. As she looked at the wooden hammer in her hands. Hey, Scott McClellan, welcome to the stream and welcome to the chat. You're a Dane, yeah? How does it feel in the mind to write in a second language? Yes, I am Danish. I'm sure you can hear that on my accent. A good old Danglish accent. It feels pretty good, to be honest, to write in a second language. Mostly because, well, I've had English since like the 3rd grade. And I've worked with people from Britain for 3-4 years. So it comes quite natural, and also I think English is a much richer language than Danish is. I know it is. There's a lot more ways of expressing yourself, of writing the same thing, so what you write doesn't feel so stale quite as fast, I feel like. So yeah, it's pretty good. Of course, there are times where I have a dictionary up at all times. Times where I just don't remember the right word in English and I have to look it up. But it's not too bad. Other times I don't remember the word in Danish and I know the English one straight away. So that's weird, and that's feels a bit strange when that happens. But yeah, overall it feels pretty good. I will say though, so I've learned from writing my short stories. I've written them in English first, and then I've edited them in English, and then I've translated them initially so that some family members who might not have been so comfortable in English could follow along what I wrote. But I also found that it was a really, really good lesson translating things to Danish, because since Danish is a poorer language, I sometimes really had to tighten up the prose, which actually helped in the English version as well. So that is my plan once I have finished this book, if whoever finishes this book and has been have it edited to a satisfactory degree. I will translate everything myself and then sort of tighten up the English prose as I go. Scott says, interesting, I guess it does help that Danish is a cognate tongue to English. Enough of the structure and some of the words are the same. Yeah, I think at least a lot of the old Danish really influenced English, right? Because of the Vikings and their raiding and conquering of the British Isle. And you know, I think it's also, in general, the Scandinavian countries, they learn English very, very, very early, and we're used to watching movies with the original English. We're used to watching TV shows with the original English, just with subtitles on. I think that helps a lot as well. You know, and games are in English, so it is really just like second nature to most Danes and Swedish and Norwegians and Finns, Icelandic people for that matter. But yeah, I think it's quite fun as well. But yeah, it's mostly the whole it's a richer language thing. And you know, it's just, I know there's not a whole lot of people on my channel, but it's just nice to be able to, you know, appeal to a broader mass. If I was writing in Danish, if I was talking Danish, you know, the potential viewer base that I could reach was much lower. So yeah, right now it's really cool. There are people from all over the world that drops by from time to time. People from the US, people from, I think we have one from Egypt, a couple from India, and like, I think one from Indonesia as well, or Philippines. I don't quite remember, but it's just next, besides Europe, of course. It's just so cool that, like, I feel like that's a lot of that had to do with the language. That would of course never happen if I was speaking Danish. Okay, we have like half an hour left of the live stream. I feel like I really wanna at least have 2 pages done, which should be possible. But I do have things that I need to do early in the morning, so that's why I'm only planning on streaming until 10:30. Just a little heads up. But honestly, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, that seems like a fairly decent time for the live stream. Yeah. Are you a writer as well, Scott McClellan? Or did you just stumble upon this live stream in for reasons unknown? Ah, you was? Okay. What does that mean? I quit recently due to... Oh, okay. Personal and business reasons. Right. I'm sorry. But did you published a couple of... you published some books or what? You've written some books? There's money to be made and bills to be paid. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. And off she went. Without any more hesitation. Mostly to the surprise Lemon, who suddenly found herself Scott says I finished about half a dozen books over the last 15 years. Not published, but I did try to pitch. Okay, that's cool though. Very cool. It's awesome that you found your way to the stream. So what did you write? Was it also fantasy or a couple of different things? Isolauren says there's an area north of Scotland called Sutherland. It is named after what the Vikings called it, Sutherland. Southern land. It was south of the Vikings' homeland. Just a funny part from how the Norse influenced the British Isles. Oh yeah, that's cool. But in the north of Scotland, was it because the Vikings appeared or in the very north? The beginning or what? Since I feel like Scotland is north of the British Isles. Scott says first book was sci-fi, then fantasy, then some modern day character-driven stories. Okay, sounds cool though. They came from the north, so the new land was south. Okay, that makes sense. Scott says, I always wanted to make video games, but the job market closed before I was even an adult. That was in 2009. Ooh. You sound like you're my age then. Maybe even younger. 2009. What a year. It wasn't actually that great of a year for me, but it was a year after I finished high school. It was alright. It wasn't bad. Just nothing great in particular either. Her shoulder. Suddenly found her shoulder perch. Shoulder perch. Moving away. From underneath. Sending the little bird falling. Sending the little bird down towards the black soil. Scott says, yep, mid-millennial. The older I get, the more I realize I don't relate to anyone younger. Yeah, that was really... honestly, I feel like the moment I realized, and it came much sooner than I thought it would, but I always knew there would be a technology that I would just be like, okay, yeah, that's it. I don't want to bother with it. That moment for me came with AI. Well, generative AI. I do feel like, though, that my reasons are ethical and practical for hating it. But yeah, that's like the first technology where I'm just, okay, I don't see the appeal at all, and I actively despise it. You know, I thought it would maybe come in my 50s or 60s or 70s. But no, it happened in my late 30s. I don't know. I guess I could have jumped on that wagon, but no. No, 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 no. But with hello, Screech. Since she didn't want anyone to be alerted to their presence. And a frantic flapping of wings. Lemon managed to gain flight just in time. And could make her way back to the little girl. Running as fast as she could with her little legs. As her little legs could carry. His Lauren says, I don't like AI either. It can be somewhat useful for programming, but I do not find it to be reliable at the moment. Yeah, I read a lot about that. I don't know if it's just because of my anti-AI bubble on the internet. But I feel like there's coming more and more articles and videos and such about the unreliability of AI, in particular in programming. And you know, vibe coding and all that jazz that has to be cleaned up, and it makes more work in the end, basically. But then again, it might just be my my bubble. I will say I heard from the place where I used to work. They had a IT programming department, and apparently their Claude subscription ran out, and for an entire day the whole department couldn't work. And I was just like, what did you do before the AI? How can you not? I mean, are they using it for a repository or something like file managing? Are they using it for actual coding? I don't know. It was just like, okay, your subscription ran out. Now you don't know what to do. What? Lawrence says it's also very expensive in many ways. Environmental and material cost is way out of proportion for what it brings. There are also ethical and moral issues. Yeah, exactly. Scott says AI is brilliant for art. I've had numerous bad experiences with digital artists, and it's just much easier to use AI than an artist. Oh, that's a bit of a hot take, Scott. I feel like that's a hot take. I don't know with a bad experience with artists. I can't speak for that, of course, but yeah, I strongly dislike generative AI for art. Sure, it's easy, but yeah, just the whole thing about it being built on stolen work, trained on stolen work, without any compensation for the artists. Yeah. Lawrence is also very expensive as a service. I actually don't know how expensive the AI, the large language models, and so they are. Also, from what I've heard, it's very much it's very much what I want to say. Like, it's cheaper now than it actually has to be, because they're trying to get people hooked on it, and then they're going to raise the prices at some point. Triceratops Rider says, I use AI to clean my laundry and wash my dishes so I can make art. I don't use AI to make art, so I can clean my laundry and wash my dishes. A wise man. I like that quote. Scott says, too many artists behave like prima donnas. Not all, but too many take money up front and then never deliver the product. Yeah, that's a big problem, of course. I mean, that's fraud, right? That's simply just fraud. It's not even prima donnas, that's just fraud. If you're paying for a service they don't deliver, then they're fraud. It's fraud. That sucks. Yeah. Lawrence says, for programming it can cost as much or more than a whole employee. Holy smokes. I didn't know it was that expensive. Damn. God damn. Yeah, at that point, why not just like... It also, like, it has... If we look away from the moral and environmental issues, it, like, as a tool, it has its uses as a way of helping you to do stuff. But it just also feels like it was such a buzzword that CEOs had to say they were using, you know, for investors and such, because it was the new big thing and was going to revolutionize everything. Yeah. Scott says, I told my friend to yell at an artist through an email to get his 18 months late commission done. It worked, he got his art. What? I mean, yeah, that's... At least they got their art, but that's just fraud. That's just... Oh my god. Luckily, I've never had that experience with artists. I think. As long as that's for agentic use, where you tell an AI to work on code for hours and hours at a time. Okay. Oh yeah, AI agents. That's probably also what my previous work were using them for, but still. The fact that you can't do your work if your subscription is up, it's just mind-boggling. Triceratops writer says there's a discussion that we're in the Middle Ages and AI is medieval alchemy. Oh my god, that is such a funny metaphor, allegory. I love that. I kind of hope it's true because I have so much hate for AI. Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, I have like 15 minutes left of the stream. Let's see how much we can do. Yeah, Scott says alchemy did give way to chemistry. Exactly. I think that actually makes it even more... It makes it an even better metaphor. Because there are useful things in AI, right? It's just way overhyped at the moment. I also read today actually that Australia is looking to introduce laws from next year about AI, that AI companies have to compensate artists that they use to train their models on, and that they will have a cap on water and electricity use, and they have to provide net zero energy. So they would have to provide their own electricity, for example. Those are just like a few of the things that they're taking a crack at with the law, and I'm just like, yes, should have been like that since the first one. So from the second it started, from the get-go. Yeah, Triceratops writer says, I've probably seen like 10 ads urging me to use AI writing assistant. Yeah, it's everywhere. I get those ads as well. Stay strong. You're the one who writes, not an AI. I also feel like what those AI bros don't understand when they're trying to make a quick... Like, they don't understand it's the journey. It's so much the journey, right? It's a struggle to do something, to get better, to make something that you're proud of, and not just type a prompt and then it does it for you. Okay, so I just had this thought. Because back in chapter like 16 or something, Vespa couldn't walk. When Vespa was denied entry to the temple by Shad and Otho, the guards, there were also guards stationed outside the dungeon entrance. And while I don't have a layout of the temple yet, Blackrivers Keep, I'm pretty sure we could see the dungeon entrance from the windows where she's about to sneak in. So I just want to lampshade that, I think, and say like, oh, there are no guards now, because they're inside the temple now. They were just there to stop anyone from interfering with Squire Ronin's preparations. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to lampshade that a little bit. Sprinting. Around. Around one of the 5 sides of the temple. Two of the 5 sides of the temple. Vespa suddenly. As a heart dropped in fear. What is the matter? Rhenàidd hummed. From the hammer. Having sensed a sudden change. Sudden. We just said suddenly. A sharp change. Swift change. Swift. Let's go with swift. A swift change within Vespa. Can he sense this? I don't actually know. So he can't read her mind. Can he? Maybe Vespa instead. Maybe she like did like that, what's that called? Gasped. Did she gasp? Vespa didn't answer right away. Also, what happened to Lemon? Her way. Her eyes. Her copper eyes. It's been a while since we've written copper eyes. Her copper eyes. Fixated. On the entrance. Down to the dungeons. Opposite the unfinished. Or maybe just in view. Unfinished. Temple windows. This time, Lemon didn't mind the sudden change in movement. From Vespa as she took the opportunity to land back on her shoulder. It's just something. It's just there were guards here earlier today. Oh. Fremstamme. Stammered. It's not exactly the word I'm looking for. Stammered. Stuttered, faltered, mumbled. You know, let's go with mumbled. I'm not entirely sure, but let's go with it for now. Word. Yeah, I don't feel like it's stuttered. I feel like that's a bit more like stammer. Maybe I'm not even. Maybe it's just. Maybe I'm just going with said when all is said and done. Mumbled, and that needs to be a comma there. Her gaze still scouting. Scouting the courtyard. Around the stairs, down the stairs. Now I don't think there are anyone. The memory of being greeted by Shad and Otho when they Scott says, if she's speaking with long pauses because she's collecting her words and doesn't know what to say, it's stammer. Thank you. Stammer. I'm gonna write that there as a comment. That's interesting. I thought stammer and stutter were like basically the same. So it would be like really difficult to say words. But it's good to know. Thank you. Any tips like that are much appreciated. When they emerged from the catacomb vents was still fresh in her mind. she did not need a repetition. Oops, what was that? Repetition. What on earth did I do there? Damn it. Especially when they trying to sneak their way into the temple. Okay. Good. That is good. The spirit reply. I'm gonna end it right there. Ooh. That was it for today. It was actually more than I thought we would be able to do, which is great. So it's a little over two pages, almost 2.5, I guess. So let's bring out the master sword of counting. Scott says stutter is when you repeat a letter that your brain hangs up on. Talking like this is a stutter. Stammer is when you pause to deal with your tick. Okay, well, cool. Now we know that. Thanks for that precision, or whatever. What is it called? Explanation. Okay, so an interesting thing here. Well, will you look at that? It is our old notebook where we started the day. So let's have a count, shall we? 1, you can't see that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24 lines here. And then we of course had 1 page, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So that's 2 pages. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then that's where we start next time. So 2 pages and 14 lines. Let's just have them there as a nice little... Okay. Let's go into our word count sheet. Day 103. And we have made 2 pages and 14 lines, which is 861 words. If my calculations are correct, which they probably are. They probably are a little off, but whatever. It's the best I can do. And that means this goes here, and we go that. And I will go into studio mode here, so you guys don't have to see this. I will pick the right frame this time. And let's go into the text here. So 107,193 words is the progress overall. So yeah, the progress bar needs to be changed. We move that to this. And our jewel, we move that to 101. And that looks good, I think. I think that looks good. And that was it for the day. Okay, that went pretty well, I think. And sadly, I do have things to do tomorrow morning, so I won't. I simply don't have much more time. But yeah, it was awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next one is going to be on Monday, as per usual. Good work, says Lauren. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, dude. And also, thank you to you other guys. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Triceratops Rider. Thank you, Miss Blogger, who was here earlier. It's awesome that you guys want to chat. Have a good one. Thank you, Scott. Next live stream is on Monday, of course. Unless things happen. Monday, 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. And I will make I will schedule the next live stream after I've ended this one. Alright, that was it. Just remember that we write our own stories, and I hope to see you on Monday. Alright, have a good rest of the week and weekend. Bye!